Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive for all you parents with kids in KOEIGO's STEAM and Language School 3D Design course at OCSI.
Yes. Welcome.
We're going to take a peek behind the curtain today
Yeah.
at what your kids are learning and why it's such a fantastic skill for them to be picking up.
It's so cool to see what they're doing.
So this week we've got students adding details to their articulating dragon designs in Nomad Sculpt.
Yeah, focusing on the chest,
Oh,
arms and legs.
Oh.
And another group is tackling a virtual basketball hoop.
Oh, wow.
Talk about blending creativity with tech skills.
Yeah, I bet those projects look amazing.
They really do.
But for those of us who aren't digital natives, 3D design can sound a bit intimidating.
Yeah.
So why is it so valuable for kids to learn, even if they don't end up becoming professional designers?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's about so much more than just learning software.
Right.
3D design helps kids develop critical thinking, problem solving, and spatial reasoning skills.
Okay.
They're essentially learning how to think in 3 dimensions.
Wow.
Which is a valuable skill in countless fields,
Like what?
like from architecture and engineering to medicine and even art.
Wow. It's like giving them a superpower they can use in any area of life.
Exactly.
Now, I know one of the big concepts the kids have been working with is symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds simple enough,
Right.
but I have a feeling there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Symmetry is everywhere in nature, from
Yeah.
the wings of a butterfly to the petals of a flower.
Uh-huh.
It's a fundamental principle of design that creates balance and harmony.
I see.
And it's not just about aesthetics.
Oh.
Symmetry also plays a crucial role in function and efficiency.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Can you give us quick Symmetry 101 for parents?
Of course.
Right.
In its simplest form, symmetry is about creating mirrored images.
Okay.
Think of it like folding a piece of paper in half.
Uh-huh.
What's on one side is reflected on the other. In 3D design, there are different types of symmetry,
Okay.
but the most common one is mirror symmetry.
Okay.
It's what the students are using to create those perfectly mirrored limbs on their dragons.
So that's how they get those dragons looking so balanced and lifelike.
Exact.
But I imagine it takes more than just eyeballing it.
Right.
What kind of tools are they using to achieve this precision?
Well, Nomad Sculpt, the software they're using, has some really cool features to help them.
Okay.
One of the key tools is something called a symmetry plane.
Okay.
Imagine a digital mirror placed right down the middle of the dragon's body.
Okay.
Anything the student sculpt on one side is instantly mirrored on the other side.
Wow, that sounds almost like magic.
It is pretty magical.
So even if my kid isn't the next Michelangelo, this tool helps them create these intricate, symmetrical designs.
Exactly.
Wow.
It takes the guesswork out of symmetry and allows them to focus on the creative aspects of sculpting.
Okay.
And here's the cool part.
Okay.
This concept of symmetry planes isn't just limited to the digital world.
Oh.
It's used by architects, engineers, and designers all the time
Wow.
to create everything from buildings to cars to airplanes.
So my kid is learning a skill that's used by professionals in all sorts of fields.
They are.
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
It's more than just a visual trick.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental principle that underpins so much of the world around us,
Mm-hmm.
and my kid is mastering it one dragon limb at a time.
That's right.
Wow.
It's a powerful concept that's both beautiful and functional.
Okay.
And speaking of functional,
Okay.
let's shift gears and talk about those basketball hoops. The students working on that project are diving into another fascinating concept.
Oh.
Repeater.
Repeaters.
Yeah.
Now that sounds intriguing.
It is.
Okay.
Imagine being able to duplicate and arrange objects in all sorts of cool ways without having to manually copy and paste them over and over again.
Okay.
That's essentially what repeaters do.
Wait, so instead of spending hours meticulously copying and pasting, they can just tell the software, make me 10 of these, and boom, it's done.
Pretty much.
Wow.
It's a huge time saver and allows them to create complex structures much more efficiently.
Okay.
And there are different types of repeaters to achieve different effects.
I see.
For example, they can use an array repeater to create a row of identical objects, like those square shapes that make up the net of a basketball hoop.
So instead of tediously placing each square individually, they can use a repeater to create the entire net in just a few clicks.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see why this is such a valuable tool.
It is.
Okay.
And it goes beyond just efficiency.
Oh.
Repeaters also help students understand patterns and sequences,
Okay.
which are fundamental concepts in math and computer science. They're essentially learning the building blocks of algorithms even if they don't realize it.
Wow, this is really blowing my mind. It
Yeah.
seems like every coolant technique they're learning
Okay.
has these deeper connections to other fields and skills.
That's the beauty of 3D design. It's
Yeah.
a gateway to so many other disciplines.
Right.
And it's all done in a fun, engaging way that keeps kids excited about learning.
This has been incredibly enlightening.
Cool.
You've given me a whole new appreciation for what my child is learning in this course.
Wonderful.
But we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know there's even more to explore. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to continue our deep dive into the world of 3D design.
And we're back, diving deeper into the world of 3D design with KOEIGO's STEAM and Language School.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about repeaters
Yes.
and how they can create complex structures, like a
Yes.
basketball net, from simple shapes.
Right.
But repeaters can do so much more than just grids, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Are there other types of repeaters that create different arrangements?
There are,
Like-
like maybe something more curvy?
Yeah.
Like a roller coaster track?
Yeah, like a roller coaster track or something.
Yeah, you're right on track with that thought. There's another type of repeater called a curve repeater.
Okay.
This one lets students arrange objects along a path, just like building a roller coaster track or even a winding road through a virtual landscape.
Wow, okay, so they're not just creating static objects.
No.
They're learning how to design things that flow and curve in 3 dimensions.
Yeah,
That must be incredibly challenging,
it is.
but also super rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just placing objects.
Right.
Students need to think about the angles, the spacing, and how the objects connect seamlessly.
Okay.
It's a fantastic exercise in spatial reasoning and problem solving, all disguised as designing something cool.
You mentioned another repeater before the break.
Yes.
The radial repeater.
Right.
What can kids do with that one?
Think about the spokes on a bicycle wheel or the petals on a sunflower.
Okay.
Those are great examples of radial symmetry in nature.
Mhm.
With a radial repeater, students can arrange objects in a circle around a central point. It's perfect for creating things like flowers gears or even a Ferris wheel.
Wow, so they're learning how to design things that spin and rotate.
They are.
That's taking things to a whole new level.
It is.
But these repeaters are just scratching the surface of what 3D design software can do.
Right.
But here's something that I think really elevates the learning experience.
Okay, what's that?
The concept of validation.
Ah, yes, validation.
What does that mean in the context of 3D design?
It's like taking that virtual design and giving it a reality check.
Okay.
Imagine your child has designed an awesome toy car using repeaters for the wheels and other details.
Okay.
Validation is the process of checking if that design can actually be manufactured in the real world.
So it's like a bridge between the digital world and the physical world.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting with repeaters.
Okay.
When you validate a repeater, you have different options for how those repeated instances are treated. You can choose to join them into a single object, keep them as separate instances, or uninstance them, creating unique objects.
Hold on. I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Okay.
Let's say my child creates a row of trees using a repeater. What happens if they join them during validation?
Well, instead of having individual trees, the whole row would become one solid object.
Okay.
This is often necessary for 3D printing, as printing a bunch of tiny separate trees could be quite a challenge.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what about the other options?
Okay.
Why would you want to keep them separate or uninstance them?
Keeping the instances separate allows for more flexibility.
Okay.
For example, if your child wants to be able to adjust the height or shape of each tree individually later on, they'd keep them separate.
Okay, and uninstancing.
Yes, uninstancing.
Yeah.
Think about a decorative fence with a repeating pattern.
Okay.
Uninstancing would allow your child to break apart that pattern and modify each element to make it unique. It's like taking a cookie cutter design and adding a personal touch to each piece.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So validation isn't just about checking for errors.
Yeah.
It's also a creative tool in itself.
Exactly.
Wow. And the best part is, this process of validating a design introduces kids to the concept of manufacturability.
Yes.
They begin to understand that the things they create on a computer can actually be brought to life in the physical world.
Right.
It's a powerful connection that sparks their imagination and makes the learning process even more engaging.
Absolutely.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Good.
It's fascinating to see how these seemingly complex concepts are being broken down and taught in a way that's fun and engaging for kids.
I think so too.
So we've been talking about symmetry and repeaters and even how 3D designs go from the digital world to the real world through validation.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's shift our focus to you, the parents.
Yes,
We know you're eager to support your children in this 3D design journey,
absolutely.
but sometimes it can be hard to know where to start. So do you have any advice for parents who want to be more involved but maybe feel a little intimidated by the tech side of things?
Well, first of all, I think it's fantastic that you're even thinking about this,
Oh, thanks.
because your support and encouragement can make a huge difference.
Okay.
Sometimes the simplest things can have the biggest impact.
Like what?
Well, for starters, have you tried just asking your kids about their projects?
I try, but sometimes I feel like I get a little lost in the technical jargon.
I understand,
Yeah,
but just showing genuine interest can go a long way.
you're right.
And this is where the knowledge you've gained from this deep dive comes in handy.
Okay.
You can ask specific questions about the tools and techniques they're using.
Okay.
For example, you could ask, how did you use symmetry to create the wings of your dragon?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or what type of repeater did you use to build the basketball hoop?
Those are great questions. I can see how that would spark a conversation and make them feel proud of what they're learning.
Exactly. It's all about encouraging them to articulate their thoughts and ideas,
Mhm.
and don't underestimate the power of encouragement.
Okay.
Celebrate their successes no matter how small.
Right.
3D design can be challenging at times, so it's important to acknowledge their efforts and help them stay motivated.
Positive reinforcement is key.
Absolutely.
But what if they get stuck?
Yeah.
How can we help them troubleshoot problems without just giving them the answers?
That's a great point. It's about guiding them towards solutions rather than solving problems for them.
Right.
You can try asking questions like, what have you tried so far?
Yeah.
Or what do you think might be causing this issue?
So instead of just giving them the answer, we're helping them think critically and find their own solutions.
Precisely.
That's a valuable skill in any situation, not just 3D design.
Exactly. And remember, mistakes are a natural part of the learning process.
Yeah.
In fact, they're often the best learning opportunities.
Oh, that's a good point.
Encourage your kids to see mistakes not as failures, but as stepping stones to success.
It's all about fostering a growth mindset. That's such an important lesson for life in general.
You're absolutely right. And as your children delve deeper into 3D design, you might find yourselves learning alongside them.
That would be fun.
It's a journey of discovery for everyone involved.
This has been truly eye-opening.
Wonderful.
We've explored how 3D design empowers kids with valuable skills for the future.
Yeah.
From problem solving and spatial reasoning to creativity and technical proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
And we've learned how parents can play a vital role in supporting their children's learning journey.
That's right.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
The pleasure was all mine.
And remember, the world of 3D design is full of possibilities.
It is.
Who knows what amazing creations your children will come up with next.
I can't wait to see.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into KOEIGO's 3D design course at OCSI.
See you next time.
Until next time.